with green cards, but exemptions can be made. Wendy Gillette for CBS News.
Well, it's Sunday morning. There's a time stamp. 10:30, 1:29:17, 10:30 in the morning.
We checked with security at KCI, which has a very limited
I've been up since
number of
8,
international flights. They tell us
working
no
on my
one has
second
been
cup of
detained
coffee.
there. But again, a federal judge in New York has granted an emergency stay of the president's order.
Told Jim I'd come and see him. He invited me to come. He says now. So I said I'll be there by 11:30. It's going to take me a minute to get my mojo psyched for the ride. That's all it's going to take, is just for a minute.
We're still learning more about the judge's
Not taking a payload with me, so the bike will be as light as possible. But I've fallen in love with this new school bike. Actually, I think it's kind of old school. It's a Lance Armstrong style bike. You're supposed to ride it all bent over. I'm not about riding the bike all bent over. It has its shifters down low. So you have to be bent over, and you're down there with the like this. I should have this bigger. You're down here like this, all bent over, and you got your brakes way up here, and you're all bent over pulling it. And I know that works your butt muscles and hamstrings and stuff, but I don't like being bent over rolling or riding. It is possible. It's not ergonomically totally fucked, unless you have a big belly of fat, to get a full load of oxygen when you're bent over like that. I prefer to be sitting up. Plus, I'm not into speed. That is to say, how fast I go on the bicycle. I keep my speed below 35 miles an hour, I would say, all the time. I never go faster than 35 miles an hour. If I have a mechanical failure or if I hit something, it could be bad. So, even just cruising down hills, cars can pull out, anything can happen. 35 is fast now. I don't have to ride my bike at 40, 45, 50 miles an hour. I could power down some of these hills at 40 miles and 50 miles. I'll go that fast. I want to go that fast on a motorcycle. You have no protection. You have zero protection. Oh, I suppose you'll get slowed down a little bit as the front wheel collapses. You'll get maybe sort of slowed down a little bit before you go into somebody's windshield. But the biggest thing that's gonna get me, if anything gets me, and this is just a horror to think about. And I look inside the vehicles as I'm traveling. You got to travel on the right-hand side of the road. Well, a lot of times there are vehicles parked along the right side of the road. So here's the road, here are the vehicles, and my greatest fear is when we're in kind of heavy traffic and I've got to be kind of close to those cars that are parked. You'd think, oh well, no sweat, plenty of room, I got 2-3 feet wide between the cars next to me traveling 50 miles an hour and the cars that are parked. What's going to happen is see if there's anybody in the car, in the driver's side car. But one of these days, someone's going to pop open their door a foot, and I'm going to smack into it, right into the edge of the steel of the door, at 25, 30 miles an hour. So I slow down when I'm in that position, and I look to see if there's somebody in that car that might open the door. And if that's the case, I slow way down and or try to go around what I presume to be the fully open door. That's what I'm afraid of most. I'm not afraid of cars slamming into me at an intersection or something like that. I watch. I am super mega vigilant. I know exactly what's going around me all the time. And I don't play games. Everybody wants to be in charge and direct the traffic. And I find it really annoying when I really just want them to get the fuck out of the way Everybody wants to, you know, they're trying to be generous. They want to give you the right of way. Well, the fact of the case is, we have to come to almost a stop, especially when they have the right of way. We have to come to almost a stop, which is a pain in the ass. We have to have some element of communication. And, you know, half the time I'll go back around the car, just take them out of the equation. I'll go around their car and they can do whatever the fuck they want. Or, you know, they've come to a stop and I know that I could jump across their path even if they floored it. You know, half the time I'm like, go, 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 just get the fuck out of the way. You're halfway in the intersection right now anyway, just go, get out of the way. But oh no, we defer to the bikers. I'm a biker myself when I'm not driving my 4,000 pound automobile all by myself because I wanted to buy a pack of cigarettes. You know, I got an attitude about people with cars. I want to talk to Jim about an automobile and my prospects of getting one, a loan and all that shit. But I don't want to talk to Jim about an automobile. I got a resentment. I'll just let him know that I've got one when it's time for me to get one. You know, I don't need his help in any way. That's all expired. So I should be feeling boosted up. I just did my second Adderall and I got another cup of coffee. And I have a couple cigarettes. Kind of want to do the unit, but I don't have time. I told Jim I'd be there by 11:30, so that's, and I could be late. He says he's got something from 3 to 5. And I told him I'd do a round trip, which I'll do. No sweat. I just got to do it. I'm all rested, fed enough. I'm not hungry. I did have a spoonful of oil. I had a piece of chicken. And that's all the food. I need to call. That's the other thing I forgot I need to do before I see Jim. Masturbate with these people because they are slow as fuck because they try to solve your problems, your very complex problems, with their bullshit computers. And it never works. I need to speak to a person. And I have these two cards. I have my old card, which I had. If I hadn't canceled it, I'd be good to go. I'd have $100. Before I canceled it, I did buy a couple things. I need to confirm that. Bought a printer, so I'll have a wireless printer. I can sit over there on the table, on the desk. Because I don't see nowhere I could put it. I could put it behind the monitor. But I'm excited about that. And I bought something else. So anyway, that's what's going on today. Tim is doing something else today, so I'm not going to do any work for Tim. Even though I'm in pretty much perfect shape for it. This happens to me. I get shaky in the morning when I wake up sometimes. Like, you know, before I have my coffee, I get shaky. I don't know, it's just this nervousness. So I actually popped 2 Adderall for speed. And I did 2 of the baby Xanax to calm me down. The coffee really makes me shake. I don't like it. If I go over to Jim's house, I might get a pinch of weed. I gave him a pinch of weed. And I don't want to get to this thing where, oh, well, we have to share back and forth and blah, blah, blah. But we could use a pinch of weed. He might even have some booze over there. And I'll enjoy the bike ride. Pretty good timing. So I rode the hell out of the bike a couple days ago. And so a nice good long ride now, down the mountain, into the valley, up the other side of the valley. That's basically where Jim lives. I mean, it's up and down, up and down. But that's the main thing, is you go down into the valley where Brush Creek is, and then you gotta go up the mountain where Jim lives. Jim lives halfway up the other side of the valley. But you've got to go, you cruise, and that's where I could hit 60 miles an hour if I want to, going down Truist Avenue for a good long stretch. It's like downside of Jim's side of the valley, right down to Brush Creek level. But there are some stop signs and stop lights and stuff that are very dangerous, very heavily traveled at the bottom of that stretch. And it's not the best road, but I definitely keep the brakes on when I go down there, because you got to be able to anticipate anything. And I discovered I can skid with my back brake, so I got plenty of braking power. The bike is tuned quite nicely. Brakes wise, shifter wise, all the wises. The wheels are true. Everything's holding pressure real well. I'd like to get some good, heavier oil, earl up all the cables and everything. Jim may have something I can squirt in there. Now I'm going to get that light bike. I'm going to get a version of the light bike. The bike that Tim gave me that got stolen. I saw one very much like it, same basic configuration. Very thin aluminum, big frame, skinny Presto valve tires, but it's down below like this. Shifters are down below. So I'd have to turn the sheep's horn handlebars over, get a torch, heat up the bend, aim the handlebars out so I can sit up and ride the bike. And then I've got to move the shifters from the lower position up to the handlebars where I can turn the bike from a race bike into a high performance touring bike, you might say. But I want to be able to take that bike out when I just want to ride the bike. Because it's like a fucking race bike. Just very high performance, and you can turn on a dime. The only thing about the bike is it has these really skinny, super high pressure tires. And the bike doesn't weigh anything, hardly. So you feel everything in the road. So the bike bounces on the road. It's like riding a bike that isn't hardly there, except for you have all the controls and it's a bike and everything. So, but I'm going to find one, the one at the bike shop where they do stuff for nonprofit. She wants to optimize, the value of her assets because it is a nonprofit. I understand, and if she can get it, more power to her. I would even consider paying it, finding a way to pay for it. $260. I wonder if I handed her $250, but I won't have the money. I mean, the best I could do would be a deposit of $100, and then try to get the bike the following month. Weather-wise, that would be about right, but like I said, even so, I want to make these modifications to the bike, so I've got to put money into the bike to ride it. It's got new brakes and I think new tires now. Alright, I'm going to stop this recording. I slept 12 hours. I went to bed about now yesterday morning after staying up a couple of days on Adderall, coming off alcohol. So I slept, so I'm good to go. I need to get ready to go. I can jack off anytime. So I have my card. I would have access to my account if I hadn't canceled the card and got expedited delivery on a new card. Well, the expedited delivery, I thought it'd be like overnight. And they said 2 days. Well, it happened to be Friday afternoon, and so they said, well, it's going to be Tuesday before you get it. So I've got to survive on nothing through today, all Saturday. I have to stay home Tuesday, wait for somebody to knock at the door, bring them my new card, and then I get my regular payment. So that'll carry me over. I get my regular payment on Friday. I can start my life again. I'm going to stop, go to Walmart, see where my packages are. Stop. Oh, just minimalize. Oh,